Nation, we are back. Let's get it.
Touchdown, Raiders!
Yo, salute to everybody already here in the building, man. You guys know what time it is. We are back. Welcome to the latest installment of the Graphic and Wasted Show.
Or the Wasted and Graphk Show, whichever way you like to slice it. What is the deal, brother?
My brother, it is good to see you, and it is always great to see the chat. Salute to the greatest chat in YouTube history. As always, make sure you wipe them feet over here at OLV Raiders Network and pay your bar tabs over there. Wasted Talents channel, man. They're growing over there like crazy. Almost what? We're coming up on 20K here soon. Like we're getting there. We're getting there. So make sure you get those likes up over there, and make sure you also hit that subscribe button. I see Green Dot Gang, Get Off My Lawn Gang, heavy in the building. If you guys want to become members, hit the links. It's pinned up top. We got a lot to talk about today. We're going to go over some potential trade targets here in the offseason, and we're going to talk about some new hires today as well. And I got something just came across my desk here just a second ago. Salute to my guy Joe.
How did it actually run across your desk?
Bro, like just sprinted across that shit.
Oh,
You know what I
wow.
mean? Yeah, man. Salute to my guy Joe. Sent me this interesting article. You know what? I'm just going to share it on screen real quick so you guys can all check it out. But it looks like the Raiders and Clint Kubiak are still searching for even more to add to this coaching staff. Boom. Salute to my guy Joe once again. And salute to Football Scoop over here. Tug of war unfolding for top Georgia offensive assistant. Phil Rosher has been on Kirby Smart's University of Georgia coaching staff for nearly a year, but he's been the Bulldogs offensive line coach for only less than a month. Georgia now is trying to keep Rosher from a return to the NFL. Numerous sources with ties to both the Georgia program and the NFL tell Football Scoop that Rosher is being pursued by the Las Vegas Raiders to join the inaugural staff of new head coach Clint Kubiak. Multiple sources tell Football Scoop that Rosher has been approached by Kubiak's Raiders for the role of running game coordinator. Kubiak and Rosher have a deep history together in the NFL. The two were colleagues in the league with the Denver Broncos last decade, where Rosher was an assistant offensive line coach and Kubiak was an offensive assistant. They reunited together with the Minnesota Vikings in the 2020 and 2021 seasons. Rosher climbed from assistant offensive line coach to the lead role in his second year in Minneapolis, while Kubiak first arrived as a quarterback's coach and then was named offensive coordinator during the 21 season. Their paths then diverged, with Rosher spending the next 3 seasons on staff with the Jacksonville Jaguars before joining Smart's Georgia Bulldogs in spring 2025. He was elevated to the role of Georgia's offensive line coach in late January. One source told Football Scoop President Scott Rosell, "It's a work in progress. Rosher has a buyout at Georgia," while another source added, "Ball is in Rosher's court from what I understand." So another guy with extensive track record, started off coaching in 2006 in UCLA as an undergrad student assistant, then went on to be a graduate assistant, went to Dixie State as the offensive coordinator, Hawaii. I mean, the list goes on. Was in the NFL from 2015 to 2016 with the Denver Broncos as an offensive assistant, and then went on to be the assistant to the head coach in 2017 with the Broncos, went to the Redskins as an assistant offensive line coach, interim offensive line coach, and we talked about Minnesota, Jacksonville, and Georgia. So it looks like Kubiak is still ripping and running here, Wasted. I know, I don't know if you've seen the news today. We were talking about potentially them being able to snag our quarterbacks coach from Minnesota, Trailer. Matt Zenitz was first on this from CBS Sports. Vikings assistant offensive coordinator Jordan Trailer has continued to be highly sought after by other teams. It's expected that he stays in Minnesota, sources tell CBS Sports. Traylor's relationship with head coach Kevin O'Connell is a driving force to remain with the Vikings. That sucks. I think that would have been a great move from the Raiders. He's really young. He could have worked with Fernando Mendoza. Hey, man, you win some, you lose some. But how are you feeling about these moves and these non-moves?
Well, non-moves kind of show the division, right? Shows the division, shows what they're trying to do. It shows that they are making a really, really great foundation for the young quarterback coming in. And it's really encouraging, right? And when you start talking about the move that was made, I wanted to see more people from the college ranks and the staff, and I think that's very, very on time and purposeful.
Mm-hmm.
They're not reaching out to guys that are in the NFL just strictly, and the reason for that is that when they sit down and they start putting their draft board together, it's better to have guys in the room who actually scouted these players, recruited these players, have certain relationships with some of these players, because just because you don't necessarily get someone on your, to come to your school doesn't mean that you didn't spend a year, 2, 3 years recruiting this kid all through high school. Going to his high school and getting to know him and his parents and stuff like that, right? So that level of insight is what makes for a great NFL front office. It makes for, great feedback from the coaching staff, because that's how you go out and you find those diamonds in the rough, those Jalen Richard kind of players, right? And also, those are those higher round picks, those second, third round picks that turn out to be superstars, and you wonder why. It's because the coaching staff had a guy in the staff that had a relationship with the player and knew, a lot of things about him. I mean, look, going into this season, what we wanted the front office and the coaching staff to go into this century
aligned.
Yeah, and they're grinded, but we wanted a line, and we also wanted them to be doing things that people do this century.
Yes.
The Raiders have always kind of held on to this old school way about things. Even when McDaniels was here, it's just about the way they went about hiring them. And, this seems like a modern organization. And I love it.
I do too. Also, you guys, we made it official today. Rick Dennison is officially our offensive line coach. There was rumors and reports coming out that he was going to be like a senior offensive advisor, but it looks as though they named him our offensive line coach. I talked about this. I know you did too. It was going to be very difficult to go out there and find an offensive line coach this late in the game. This guy has a ton of experience coaching the offensive line. We have a few other guys, Janako in the building as well, Clint Kubiak. This is going to be a collective effort to build this unit up. That's why I'm not too much worried about it. And I do believe this is going to be like a 1-year hire. Next year, they'll look to, address the O-line coach position. I think this is a guy that's going to be here, help this thing, turn into a better direction. And then next offseason, he'll probably end up being like a senior advisor or something along those lines. How do you feel about this move?
Yeah, I kind of feel like this is his swan song in coaching. I think that this is his pre-retirement kind of cushy job as a consultant, right? Rick Dennison is a guy that he brings 30 years of NFL coaching experience.
Ton of it.
He has 7 seasons as an offensive coordinator with the Bills.
Yep.
He was with Denver and he was with Houston.
Minnesota.
Gary Kubiak.
Yep.
Minnesota, 6 division titles, 4 Super Bowl victories. He's also been a part of 13 seasons with 10+ wins. Yeah. I mean, this is a guy that if you start tracing and doing your research, it's a guy who helped get Arian Foster going. He was a guy doing a lot. Dalvin Cook, a lot of these guys, man, and even what he did with Zach Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker is something that's commendable. And for me, all these coaches, they all are on all different sides of the ball, but the one thing that rings true about every single one of them is that they're very accomplished and they're good wherever they coach. So, I think that as long as you have guys that understand that wide zone concept, they understand what they're looking for at an offensive line, they understand what good looks like, you're going to get a superior effort from the offensive line this season.
Definitely, man. Salute to Rick Dennison. He is officially our new offensive line coach. It's his job now, like, again, as a collective with Kubiak and Janako to fix this thing, because we had one of the worst O-lines in football last year. Also, man, we out here still making moves. Salute to Tom Pelissero, former Falcons special teams coordinator. Marquise Williams has agreed to terms with the Raiders to be their senior special teams coach per source. Salute to my guy, Ray Turr on Twitter. He put out this tweet. Marquise Williams got his NFL start when Mike McCoy hired him for the Chargers back in 2016. Fast forward to 2026, and they're back on the same sideline, this time under Clint Kubiak. So again, the relationships strike again. This is Mike McCoy's guy. He's going to come in and, help Coach D get that special teams side of the football together. Salute to Marquise Williams. I'm not going to act as though the Atlanta Falcons had the best special teams unit last year, but he's a senior special teams coach. He's going to come in and try to help right that ship with Coach D, man. Any thoughts on this hire?
Once again, man, I don't mean it's like a broken record, but just another well-accomplished coach that's a brain that comes in that building that can really, really, help reinforce some of the concepts. See, the thing about it is when you start talking about leadership, you start talking about having a well-run, anything from business to football. It's about the message from the top, being congruent and aligned, and it trickling down to the bottom of the workforce, right? So, that's what you're going to have here with these guys. You have all of these guys that all come from this coaching tree, and they understand what good looks like. They understand how to win.
Yeah.
And, so no matter what, title they hold, no matter what title they hold, no matter where they are in that building, you have yourself an accomplished, good coach. You don't have a situation where you have guys that are in places and spaces where they probably shouldn't be.
Yeah. Another Bay Area guy as well, who grew up in Fresno, went to Fresno City College, played the game himself, was a defensive back, started off at Winona State in 2010 as an outside linebacker, as an assistant special teams coach, went on to Central Oklahoma, South Dakota, and then started with the Chicago Bears in 2013 through 2014, Bill Walsh NFL Diversity Coaching Fellowship. Same with Detroit in 2015, then went on to San Diego / LA Chargers 2016, 2017 as the assistant special teams coach, defensive assistant in 2018 with the Chargers, assistant special teams coach with Detroit 2019 through 2020, and then again, special teams coordinator for Atlanta from 2021 to 2025. So, good move right here. Once again, man, the Raiders are cooking with grease right here. Salute to Marquise Williams, another addition to this coaching staff. Salute to Jacoby. Don't catch too many live shows, but always watch every show back at work. Appreciate all the time and work you guys do for the Raider Nation. So damn excited for this year and what we're building. Raiders. Salute to my guy, Jacoby, on the $10 smackaroonie. Salute to Raider Rock as well on becoming a member. Don't know what channel, brother, but we just definitely appreciate you. Salute to you. If you guys want to become members, again, hit the links. They're pinned up top. Salute to Dwayne. Just wanted to say I'm proud of you guys for the work you guys put in. Graphk, from the bathroom on breaks to now wasted, for becoming a respected creator that speaks facts. Raider Nation's best. Salute to my guy, Dwayne, on the $10 smackaroonie. That means a lot, brother. Appreciate you. Without you guys, man, this is not possible. Salute to my brother, Indiana, in real life, my guy, gifting 5 OLV Raiders Network memberships as well. Thank you, brother, so much for all the support you show Shieldmore. Salute to all the new members here in the building because of my guy, Indiana. Hug says, the GOAT himself, with all these hires, I'm trying to title up to y'all. Know any creator shows that need a producer to run the chat, pull up supers, and talk ish? Look, man, Hug is taking this job very serious. You know how we feel about you, Hug. You are only, if you can't leave the Shieldmore bubble, brother. Okay. We tried that once and you see what happened. Okay. No more going outside of Shieldmore. My guy was a mod somewhere for about 24 hours, and then it pretty much quickly changed. You can get away with whatever you want over here. We have snacks. We have goodies over here at Shieldmore. Do not step outside the boundaries of Shieldmore. Salute to our brother. Salute to our guy Swag as well. Salute, brothers. What position should we attack day one of free agency? I believe we need a powerful nose tackle and a guard, and we need to build from the inside out. I think we can agree with you that we need to build inside out, but we're going to start off with that O-line, right? We're bringing in a ton of reinforcements in to come up, coach that unit up. We have a ton of developmental talent in that room already. We have a proven guy in Colton Miller, a guy on the rise with Jackson. If you stay healthy, Jackson Powers Johnson, you need to go. We were offline talking about Braden Smith, the right tackle, from Indianapolis. We, of course, talking about Tyler Linderbaum. Me and Wasted kind of have a different take on that. We'll get there in a second as well. Him, I would be all in on bringing in Elijah Vera Tucker if the price is right. Again, he could be one of the better guards in football, but that's a major if, right, because of the injuries. But he does fit the timeline. He is a Bay Area guy from Oakland. I would love to bring him in if the price tag was right. But it starts with the O-line for me, Swag. Any differences in opinion here, Wasted?
No, I mean, we all look, if you understand the game, then you understand the format.
Yeah.
You gotta have offensive line rocking, man. So it's man. I got nothing for you, my guy. But what I do have for you is this, right? I think that we are forgetting that we drafted 2 kids.
Yes, just last year.
Yeah, like you have to make a commitment to a path for these guys starting somewhere, bro. Because these guys are not like throwaway picks. Like I know a lot of the times, a lot of football fans think if they're not picked in the first or the second round, then they don't matter, right?
Yeah.
But that's not the case, man. 3rd and 4th round picks are valuable picks.
Yes,
and you have to develop these guys. And what we are forgetting is we had such bad stewardship from the Carrolls that's like a throwaway year. So whatever you didn't see last year, or whether you thought you saw or whatever, you could take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah,
you got to really, really, for me, I think at least one of those guys, when you talk about Charles Grant or Caleb Rogers, one of those guys will be a starter this year, and they probably should be.
Yeah, I mean, but think about it as well. Spytek, this was by design. He moved back, got Besh in the second, and picked up an additional 3rd round pick. This was by design. He knew what he wanted to do. He went and got all O-line there in that 3rd round. This was by design. He wants these guys to play. Again, Pete Carroll chose to go the veteran route, and Alice Kappa and Stone Forsythe and these guys. But again, these guys are under rookie deals. They were drafted in the 3rd round, where a ton of great talent comes out year in and year out. They invested heavily in these guys. We need to see what they have come training camp. But again, I do believe that regardless of how much they think that these guys can be great, you need to bring in as much competition as possible. And if that makes sense, you look at the Braden Smiths of the world, you look at the Linderbaums. The Elijah Vera Tucker, to me, would be a great pickup, because regardless, if it doesn't work out, Wasted, you have a guy in Caleb Rogers. You have DJ Glaze that can kick in the guard. You have Jackson Powers Johnson there. You still have Jordan Meredith, who's better at guard. You know what I mean? So, I mean, at the end of the day, man, I think that would be a great move to kick the tires on if it came at the right price. And I think with him being from the town, the connection with the Raiders, I think that would be a great move. Played his college ball at USC. Yeah. And he's a California guy. You know what I mean? I think that would be a good move.
So low risk, high reward.
Yeah.
Right. Like that contract is not going to look the way a starter is going to look. Right. And then you're leaving yourself the latitude to go out there and let these guys beat him out and be okay with it. Like if you go spend big money in free agency for a guard, you can almost relegate those kids to the bench. They're not going to play.
Yep.
But when you go and get a Elijah Vera Tucker, somebody that's on the brink, on the fringe, it's a little different, right? Yep. So may the best man win, because most of the time in the NFL, it's follow the contract.
Facts. Also, real quick, you guys, we haven't spoke about these 2 hires. The Raiders also went out and signed Philadelphia Eagles assistant linebacker / defensive quality control coach, Ronell Williams. I think this was a really good move. Initially, they were bringing in Bloom for an interview for the same position. It looks as though they went in another direction. And again, Brandon Hunt, the connection with Philly, Anthony Patch, the connection with Philly. It made a ton of sense to bring this guy in. He did some great work with Nakobe Dean. Nakobe Dean actually put this in the stories with rocket ship emojis. So Nakobe Dean is a free agent, another name to keep an eye on. But he also worked wonders with Zach Bond. First team All-Pro in 2024, looked really good last season as well. Also worked with Jahad Campbell, a guy that we were really high on coming out of Alabama, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. I think this was a really, really good move. And again, the relationships, the connection again with Brandon Hunt and Anthony Patch in the building. I think this makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, look, and I don't want to come on the show and be the wet blanket, but every move this time of the year seems like a great move when you start looking at the symmetry between these guys and you start looking at
agreed
where they came from, who they have a relationship with, and all of that stuff. All of that stuff seems great now, right? I want to see how it looks in October and November. How's it going to look then, right? What kind of product are we going to get on the field? So I'm reserving my judgment on some of these guys because we sit up here and we, us as Raider fans, we want to believe that we're going to get the best case scenario, right? But when it really comes down to it, it's all about the Jimmies and Joes, man, not the X's and O's all the time. You got to get the right athletes for these guys to coach up. You look like a hell of a lot better coach when you're coaching Lawrence Taylor as opposed to coaching Malcolm Kuntz.
Yes, agreed. And there's pretty much tomatoes in the comment section for our brother, Wasted Talent, aka Mr. Wet Blanket himself. LV, our brother says, Wasted, you are always the wet spot. Big pause.
Whoa, LV, listen.
Big pause.
You got to chill, LV. You have to chill, bro. Listen, I am never the wet spot. I create wet spots. That's
Salute, man, our brother David Walker. I see a future star with Charles Grant. I mean, look, from what we've seen from him out there in limited fashion at the end of the season, he looked really, really good. When you turn on the tape and actually check it out, this dude looks like he can be something special. Again, it's too early. He was a developmental talent coming out of William & Mary. But again, I know they drafted him to potentially take over that left tackle spot eventually when Colton Miller, stepped out. I mean, or we traded him, or if he stepped away, retired, whatever it is. But I want to see him at right tackle. I want to see him battle it out with somebody at right tackle this offseason, whether it's Braden Smith or whatever. I want to see him go out there. And I know if you bring in Braden, he's going to be the starter. But I still want Charles Grant to battle it out for that right tackle spot.
Yeah, because, bro, the problem, they talked about compete, right? Last year. And I know Bro's not there, but look, that was such bullshit. The only one that they were competing with were good players on this team who should be starting, right? Like most of the time, competition is what builds strong units. Yeah. Strong units, bro. And it's just like at this point, we're always anointing people. Like I remember with Alex Leatherwood, we just anointed him because of where they drafted him. And I don't want that.
I hated that pick for day one. I hated it.
Yeah, like I want for these guys to go out there and earn their jobs. Yeah. So I want somebody that's an actual obstacle to them earning that job.
Definitely.
Because if they're an obstacle, guess what? They're a hell of a backup.
Yep. Facts. Salute to our guy, David Walker. Appreciate you. Also, you guys, we went out and signed another coach. Al Holcomb joins the Raiders as an assistant, a senior defensive assistant. Salute to NBC Sports on this one. New defensive coordinator, Rob Leonard, first-time coordinator who's 38, has never worked with Holcomb, but the fact that Holcomb is 55 and with coordinator experience gives Leonard somebody to lean on. Holcomb was the Bills linebackers coach the last 2 seasons after 1 season as a senior defensive assistant. The Raiders have yet to announce a linebackers coach. This was previously before we announced that. But it does not appear Holcomb will serve as a position coach. Holcomb began his NFL coaching career with the Giants in 2009 and spent 4 seasons there as a defensive quality control coach, 2009 and 10, and a defensive assistant, 2011 and 2012. He was the linebackers coach with the Panthers from 2013 to 2017 before going to the Cardinals as a defensive coordinator and assistant head coach. And it's funny because our new defensive coordinator, Rob Leonard, actually took his job with the Giants when he went to the Carolina Panthers. So there's no real connection, but there's kind of a connection. So salute to him. Again, a ton of experience, 55 years old. I think this is another good move for the Raiders to add some more experience because, again, that's going to be an entirely new defense. Wasted, like an entirely new defense. We're going to need as many, defensive minds and on that side of the football to coach up a lot of these guys that we're going to bring in through the draft because I'm expecting them to go damn near 80% defensive side of the ball in this upcoming draft, outside of course, Fernando Mendoza, potentially a running back later on, and maybe a wide receiver in the mid rounds. Maybe they bring in another offensive lineman, to be determined, but I think they're going to go mostly defense on that side of the ball.
Yeah, I mean, it only makes sense, right? Like the cupboards are bare. The cupboards are bare. We got so many free agents. It's very to me, right? It's very weird that people in the nation not seeing it this way. Everybody has Mendoza fever, right? Mm-hmm. But if they don't have a person who can get them the football back and to stop people, and they don't have to outscore everybody. That's a part of his maturation too. Having a great defense is really something that takes the pressure off of a young quarterback big time, because when you have that built-in, hey, I gotta score all the time, that's a bad thing, man. It's a bad thing,
especially for a young team with Genty, Brock, and Fernando Mendoza. You don't want them to have to go out there and win you ball games every single week. We need a defense that can make some stops, and I'm not expecting this to be a top defensive unit in year one. You have a year one defensive coordinator, you're gonna have a young defense, but I'm expecting them to, with all these minds out there, to potentially put. I mean, look, all we need at this point is a middle of the pack defense. I would love to have that, with some of these offensive weapons that we're bringing in, again, i.e. Fernando Mendoza, and then potentially bringing in a receiver through free agency as well. So salute to Alex real quick. Question for Wasted and Graphk. Which teams do you think has the best chance to go from worst to first? Seems like it's an every year thing now. This is facts. Definitely facts. Look, man, I'm a Raider fan. I'm going Raiders. I don't give a shit. Raiders. You know what? I'll put Tennessee in the mix as well.
Look, we don't even know what their rosters are looking like. They haven't gone through the draft. They haven't
coaching staff and what they can.
I mean, as far as from a coaching staff, it's the Raiders. I mean, Tennessee's got to be in the mix too, because Salah. But the thing that Robert Salah has to show me is that he can be a good head coach.
Dable as well.
I've seen him. I know Dable's there, right? But you got to show me, if you're the guy that's got your finger on the pulse of the team, Dable being there is not enough, because he is not the head coach. He's not the alpha and omega, and he's not the last line of decision making in defense. Let's see what kind of leader Robert Salah can be. Now, I know that when he was in New York, it seemed like he was okay, right? And it seemed like it was an Aaron Rodgers thing. But is it an Aaron Rodgers thing, or is it a credibility thing?
Yeah. I like what Raider Nice said as well. The Giants potentially. I mean, the Commanders.
Well, the Giants, of course. Yeah.
Philly, are they going to return back to their dominance? The Cowboys are on the rise, but again, that division can be wide open right now.
Yeah, the Giants are going to win that division, bro.
Think so?
I think so.
You know what? It's crazy to say it. I got the Cowboys winning that division this year.
It's either between the Giants and the Cowboys, but I have the Eagles taking a huge step back. And what Washington is, it all depends on how good Jaden Daniels can be. Yeah, was that an anomaly?
Stay healthy.
Yeah, was that an RG3 year? Like, what was that?
Yeah, facts. Salute to Swag once again. I think our O-line should be left to right. Miller, Glaze at left guard, huh? JPJ at center, Rogers, Grant. So we are actually more solid than most think. Draft and sign young defense. Well, the thing is this, Swag, you're going into that, into this season with that unit with a ton of inexperience. You're putting JPJ back at center, where he was relegated to guard the last 2 seasons, pretty much. He did play a little bit of center, but then you're looking at DJ Glaze. You're taking him from right tackle to the left side and putting him in at the guard spot. Rodgers, is he ready yet? Grant, again, I want to see him battle it out, but that is kind of scary going into this season with that young offensive line. Could it work? Definitely, but you need to bring in some veterans. Like I said, a Braden Smith would definitely help on that right side. If you kicked in Glaze the right guard and you had Braden Smith next to him, a proven veteran, that makes that right side that much better. I agree with you. I think that would be fun if they can develop in year 2. And that's up to, all the guys on the offensive side of the building, Kubiak and Janako, and Dennison. They got to get that thing right.
Yeah, bro, they know, we know that they cannot fill the cup that is open and overflowing with bad over. Yo, it is runneth over. You can't continue to fill it with more hopium. You have to kind of stop the bleeding. You have to, at the very minimum, insert one stone cold lead pipe starter from free agency. That's mandatory because of how bad that unit was. You have to do that. If you don't do that and you bring in a rookie quarterback, what you're doing is you're setting your organization back 10 years. You have to bring a starter in.
Cooks, no. That's all I got to say, brother. No. Russell Wilson, he needs to be nowhere near Las Vegas. Let him stay where he is. It has not worked with him in recent memory, and there's no reason to bring in a distraction like Russell Wilson, a big name vet that, bringing in his big name wife who probably will be performing out there in Las Vegas. We don't need that energy right now.
He's not even really a big name at this point, man.
He's more of a name than a player, though.
Yeah, his name outweighs his game at this point. You got to realize something about Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson 6 or 7 years ago was phenomenal.
Yeah.
right now he's a guy who's lost a step athletically, and then he has all the physical limitations that made him unpalatable to begin with. So when you lose that, that means that you pretty much can't play in the league anymore at an effective level.
Yeah, facts. Salute to my boy Maine in the building. Is there any consensus that Spy Tech may be on the level with Howie Roseman or Ozzie Newsome? Did we hit the no? There's a lot that he needs to do in order to even be mentioned in that rarefied air. You're speaking of two greats in Howie Roseman and Ozzie Newsome. There's no way in hell. Now, can he potentially down the line? We hope so, right? But there's no way in hell we can even look. We're coming off of what, 4 wins this past season?
Yeah, bro. Listen, hey, first base, second base, third base, home.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Like, we are now in the batter's box.
Yeah,
that's what we are. We're not even at first base yet.
Yeah,
let him get the first. Let him hit a grounder or something like that first.
Yeah, it's not. We have to pump the brakes here. Are we excited about Spy Tech? Definitely. Is he a very well respected football mind around the building? Around the industry? Definitely. But again, there's a lot for him to prove. For him to even be in that kind of rarefied air. Those are two GOATs. Like when you mention like some of the top GMs, when it's all said and done, those are two names that could potentially waste it. I mean, maybe I'm putting a little too much on it. They could be sitting on Mount Rushmore. These guys are phenomenal general managers. So salute to our brother Andy in the building. It was good catching up with my brother today. We had about a 45-minute talk, man. Salute to my dog out there living life, being a father, and ripping and running for his family, man. Always good to see my guy Andy in the building, man.
Yeah, I mean, bro, when you GM Howie Roseman and Ozzie, there's not many better.
No.
Are we talking about George Young or something like that?
Like, we got to go back, right? We got to go back. I mean, you can mention, the Chiefs and there's some few guys out there, but again, that's rarefied air. Spy Tech has a lot of work to do in order to get there. And it starts through free agency this season.
Call him Tech Shram already. Like, what the F are we doing here, man?
Through the draft. Let's get to it, you guys. Let's have some fun. Real quick, I want to ask you, because I know you have a connection to this young man. And there's a lot of reports coming out there that Green Bay may move on from their young pass rush. Well, I'm going to say young, semi-young pass rusher.
He's young. He's young. Get the F out of here.
I mean, bro, he's what, 28, I believe?
He's young. Fucking when is 28 not young?
Well, I mean, everybody speaks about Max Crosby is like he's 98 years old. So I don't know.
I don't speak about him like that. You're young ass.
Other people do. But all I'm saying is, you know what, bro? That's two bums. That's one on the show. That's one on Twitter.
That's right,
bro. The third bum. Okay, and it's what? I'll do this. You bum.
Listen, you going ahead, BUM. Bum.
But I want to ask you, man, a guy that really hasn't lived up. I love what your old school saying, hasn't lived up to the back of his baseball card, right?
Yeah.
Rashawn Gary, a guy that, they thought was going to absolutely tear it up, especially when they brought over Micah Parsons. This was supposed to be like an elite duo out in Green Bay. He tore his ACL. Rashawn Gary didn't really live up to the hype. He's never had 10 sacks on the season. He's never had multiple sacks, which is kind of crazy. He was a highly regarded pass rusher coming out of Michigan. It looks as though he may be a cap casualty with Green Bay this year. I believe he's owed somewhere in that $25 to $28 million range. And it sounds like they want to free up some money. He has 2 seasons remaining on this existing contract, $96 million, $28 million cap hit in 2026. PFF ranked him 52nd among all 115 edge rushers who are qualified in 2025. The Packers can save $19.5 million and $22.5 million in the next 2 years. So I'm going to say this. We're not trading for that contract by any means. But if they cut him, are you looking to bring in Rashawn Gary and just give him
110%? Okay. 110%. And plus, I'm sure John Spytek will kick the tires because he's a Michigan man.
There you go.
Look, when you talk about, a guy that can definitely, defend against the run and can develop, especially if, things transpire in a way where you have a Max Crosby that's still in the building. Mm-hmm. This is the kind of guy you would want to have on the other side of it, right? Because it creates a big opportunity for, the rest of the team to really just focus on stopping the run. Gary is a guy to me that was on track of having elite production. He was on track for that. And then once he got that deal, things have kind of tailed off for him.
Yeah.
Former Pro Bowler, but
2024.
Look, he's a guy that, I really think his best football is ahead of him. And I'm not saying that because, of obvious reasons, right? But
yeah,
I really do. He was a guy that, he had 7.5 sacks over the first 7 games of the season. But after, week 8, he kind of tailed off a little bit in 2025. He didn't record a single sack. He had like 13 QB hits last year in the first half of the season. So I don't know if it was a nagging injury or something like that, but he was on pace to really have a real special year last year, and it kind of slowed down for him.
Yeah. Well, a name to keep an eye on here, you guys, if Green Bay potentially moves on from him, which I think they'll probably see if he'll take a pay cut first, which would be smart for Rashawn Gary to do because he's not going to find more money than what he has, in another deal if he is cut. A name to keep an eye on, Rashawn Gary, only 28 years old. He can definitely come in and take that Malcolm Kuntz spot, and I think you would get more production out of him than you would get out of Kuntz up to this point. Salute to my guy Spoon becoming a member as well. We appreciate you, brother, so much. Again, if you guys want to become members, hit the links. They're pinned up top. Appreciate you, Spoon. This is actually the next part of the show here, man. Michael Pittman. This is a name right here that me and you talked about a ton offline. It looks as though the Colts are going to franchise tag Alec Pierce, which makes a ton of sense. He's still young. He was pretty much their number one option last year. He is 28 years old. He has a ton of money on the books. If they release him this year, they save $24 million, or they will take on $29 million worth of cap space in 2026 if they keep him around. If they want to, value Alec Pierce over him, they're going to have to move on from him. I don't see any team inheriting that 1-year deal because this next 2026 is his last year on his deal.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody wants to pay $29 million. You look at the teams that have the most cap space in football right now. I don't think that any of those teams are willing to do that. If he's released, which is a very good chance because I'm seeing a lot of possible trades with like late round picks. You know what I mean? Like Horseshoe Heroes, they cover the Colts. They say a 5th round pick from Denver, Michael Pittman Jr. Buffalo Bills, Indianapolis gets a 5th round pick and a conditional late round pick in 2027. So you're not really getting anything big from inheriting that deal. This is a guy, man, that has definitely had a ton of production up to this point. And I think he had 2 years of over 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
What do you think about this potential move right here?
It will be a great move, especially if you can get him at your number. I mean, because listen, if they get rid of him, they're going to free up over $24 million in cap space. So Daniel
Jones needs a deal. Alec Pierce needs a deal.
Yeah. So like Alec Pierce, Jones, Jonathan Taylor, Tyler Warren, those are the key contributors for that Indianapolis offense, right? So, Pittman's a guy that has averaged like I think around like 90 receptions and about 950 yards. 5 touchdowns over the last 5 seasons, right? I'm looking at it right now. So he's been one of the more steady wideouts in the league, and he would give Fernando Mendoza a legitimate target. Like, and he's not at the level of a guy that's going to really break the bank for you. No. He's a guy that he won't make things complicated for you if there's a decision to be made. Like when it's time to pay Brock, when it's time to pay Genty, he'd be the first guy out the door. So those are the kind of moves that you have to make to build towards respectability.
Yeah, 6'4", 223 would definitely add, another receiver into the fold for Fernando Mendoza. Again, last year he had 7 touchdowns. He had 784 yards. But again, you see what that quarterback situation was out there. They lost Jones. They were kind of looking around, ended up with Phillip Rivers. Alec Pierce ended up being the number one option outside of Tyler Warren out there and Jonathan Taylor, of course. But he still had over 700 yards, had 784 last year, 7 touchdowns. The year prior, he had 808 with 3 touchdowns. And then in 2023, he had a big year, 1,152 yards, 4 touchdowns. He's the Bakersfield, California guy. Again, another dude that went to USC. I would love this move. I would love this move if they find a way, if they release them, which is very, very possible. This would be a great grab for the Raiders.
Yeah, it definitely would, man. This is the kind of wide receiver. This is how I want that room addressed. I don't want them to go out there and swing big because we're not ready for that yet. Yeah. Like you got people that talk about, the Raiders aren't ready for a quarterback. Like that's horse shit.
Yes.
What they're not ready for is a high price, stud wide receiver that is demanding the ball and doesn't know his role.
Yeah.
Like it's about knowing your role and shutting your mouth, man. The Rock never said it better himself.
Well, the
know your role. Shut your mouth.
More than anything, we can't have another Geno Smith, another Gardner Minshew, another Jimmy G. We can't do that again. So again, go get your quarterback and then build around him. And I think this would be a very, very intriguing option. Salute to Spoon, man, gifting 10 Raider Nation unlimited wasted talent memberships and also 10 OLV, my guy.
Man,
you are one of the GOATs.
Spoonster.
Appreciate you, Spoon. Salute to all the new members here in the building because of our guy, Spoon. If you missed out on those 20, again, hit the links. They're pinned up top. My dog, Spoon, we appreciate you so much. Alex, I don't see them moving off from him at all. I know that they've had some quarterback woes out there in Arizona. They drafted him very early, and I know that the production hasn't really lived up to the hype. They're not moving on from Marvin Harrison.
Bro, come on, man. Yo, so that's what we do now. We get rid of stud wide receivers you took in the top 10 in the first 3 years. Like, you're not doing. Come on, man.
Salute to my guy Johnny Wade. He lives out there in Indy. Says coach trying to free up all the cap space, one for free agency, but also they're trying to get as much as they can so they don't have to lose any of their offensive linemen. So again, I know that they drafted another young kid, I believe out of the fourth or fifth round, and he came in for Braden Smith for a few weeks. I think he was dealing with a neck injury, and he looked pretty good. But maybe they try to bring Braden back. Again, they have to pay Daniel Jones. I think who else is going to be a free agent? They got a few guys out there that are going to be freed up here soon. They need as much cap space as possible. And Daniel Jones is not going to be cheap. He's not going to be cheap. So
Nah. Indiana Jones is not going to be cheap. And they've named him Indiana Jones. So guess what? They just took away all their leverage to try to lowball that guy.
Right, exactly. So to Castro, in my opinion, I would rather get a receiver in the draft next year in the first than pick one up in free agency or draft one this year. You got to bring one in regardless, Castro. You know what I mean? Like you have to, brother. Like the covers are pretty bare there. I really believe in Jack Besh, and I know that we both believe in Dante Thornton if he can continue to develop and get better. Hopefully Coops can find a way to unlock his full potential. Tucker's in the last year of his deal. We spoke about him. I thought that he would have – I know that Brock Bowers is not only a phenomenal pass catcher, but he's also a guy that, goes out there and takes a ton of eyes off of you. But when Brock was injured with that knee injury and then they put him on the IR, I thought that Trey was going to take off a little bit more. You know what I mean? I know that they kind of took the deep ball away from Geno because of all the turnovers, but I just thought that Tuck was going to be that guy that was going to come out and be potentially our number one guy, and he didn't step up. You know what I mean? So we need another receiver. We can't just depend on Besh stepping up and being that guy in year two, Thornton being the guy. You got to bring in a dude. I bring in one through free agency and bring up another one in through the draft. I get what you're saying because there are some very intriguing names in 2027, but you cannot just give Fernando Mendoza what we have right now. You have to assemble as many weapons as possible with him in year one.
Yeah, listen, man, and I saw in the chat, Unk's in the place to be, the Violators in the place. Salute to Unk. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. Trey Tucker is a guy that, I was saying that, I got to see how he balls out, right? And what I see from Trey Tucker is he has the speed, he has the ability to be explosive. He just doesn't have the prerequisite strength I think he needs to be that size. You got to be a strong receiver. Like Steve Smith was a smaller guy. He was a strong dude.
Yeah.
Julian Edelman was strong. You got to be strong to be that small and play in the NFL. To Trey Tucker, listen, man. Going over there, go call up, Alex Ariza.
The Edelman special, baby.
Look, call up Alex Ariza, not Guerrero. You need Alex Ariza. No, you need Alex Ariza. You need Balco, Alex. You don't need Alex
treatment, baby.
Lad, you need to go and listen, man.
Yeah.
Go over there to Germany, man.
Yeah.
Go over to Europe a little bit. Maybe go have yourself some tea and crumpets over there.
Yeah.
and hey man, maybe you might stumble upon a little GH.
If he doesn't have an MJ like an NBA jam head, he's on fire.
Like, listen. We need a 7-gallon head here.
Yes,
this is what we need, man. We need you to look like a gas canister. You ever run out of gas? You get that big red gas canister. Yes. We need his head to look like that when he comes back. This is what we need, man. Somebody get the man some juice.
Yeah, give him a little juice. We need him to come back looking like Frankenstein this upcoming season, man. Salute to Raider Reap. I've answered this question a ton. I'm going to hand this one over to our brother Wasted. You have top 3 hopefuls for free agency. 3 names.
Well, Linderbaum. Say no. Look, Devin Lloyd, Linderbaum,
yes.
And Linderbaum and or Wyatt Teller. I know you're not as big on Wyatt Teller as me. Yeah, I'm big on Wyatt Teller. Wyatt Teller.
He called him a superstar. I'm like, well, I don't know how that. And salute to our brother Sanjit. We got to bring him. We got to get our 3-man podcast going again because I got to ask Sanjit what the hell he was thinking calling him a superstar. 3 times. I mean,
that is not fair for you to be up here with your filth, disrespecting the great Sanjit T. You effing bum, you. I mean, what has he ever done to you? You know, I mean, what the F is wrong with you, man? If he thinks he's a superstar, then you allow him to think he's a damn superstar, Graphk. I mean, come on with your crap. I mean, this is good. Yo, and you know, I was thinking maybe Nakobe Dean. You know, maybe Nakobe Dean. He's kind of undersized, so I don't want to say Nakobe Dean or Devin Bush. You know, but Tariq Woolen.
Love it. I would love to bring in Tariq. I know that NFC Championship left a very sour taste in a lot of people's mouths around the league, but bring me Tariq Woolen. Definitely, bro. I think he could be a stud out there with Rob Leonard calling the defense.
Look, man, listen, bro. Being an expert of leaving sour taste in people's mouths across the league that I played in, big zoom.
I agree with you, though. It's Linderbaum, it's Devin Lloyd. And, you know, I'd probably put Braden or Elijah Vera Tucker right there in the mix. Definitely. Salute to Maine, my guy. I agree. Forcing 15 targets per game to any wide receiver is not good business, unless you're Brock Bowers. You know, I can see. I would love for Brock to get that many targets every damn day. He's unstoppable. But I hear you, Maine. Appreciate you, brother, on a $10 holla. Oh, we love Sanjit. That's our dog. He's one of the GOATs. But again, I just didn't understand the superstar label. I truly didn't get that. Especially, I know he's been dealing with some injuries and he hasn't looked the same these last 2 years. I think the last time he was a Pro Bowler was in 2023, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. But he's had some up and down seasons since then. You know what I mean? So and he's going to be what, 32? Is he 31, 32 years old, I believe? Yeah. So, you know, and he played on a bad O-line. It's so crazy to see. We're crying about our O-line, you guys. Cleveland's entire O-line are free agents.
Walking out of the building.
Like they have to create a whole new O-line, which is not a bad thing because that O-line was ass anyways, but they have to create a whole new O-line. All we need to do is just fill in the blanks here and there. They need a whole new O-line to block whoever it is, Watson, Shador, Dylan. I don't know who was going to be out there, but again, they got a lot of work to do out there. Some other potential targets out there, man. We talked about Byron Young, right? You know, and again, he's not too young. Like, he's 28 years old and he's still on his rookie deal. The Rams it's going to be tricky for them to keep him around. He's on the last year of his deal. They got to pay a few other guys specifically on that defensive line, right? They went and got Braden Fisk. You know, they got a ton of guys. You know, Jared Verse, the 2 Florida State guys, they are eligible for new deals next offseason. I don't know how you pay Byron Young when you have a bunch of other talent that you have to pay. This is an interesting name to potentially keep an eye on. If the Rams, let's just say we're there in a second.
He's been a Raider to begin with.
Yes, of course.
I mean, come on.
But I'm just saying this. If we're there in the second round and 36 is there and McVay loves a player that's available, do you trade your second round pick for a Pro Bowl guy that came out? I think he's coming off 12 and a half sacks. I don't know if a second round pick would be enough, but it's the last year of his deal, right? So would you move an early round pick to bring him in and give him an extension and have him play?
It depends on what the board looks like in round 2.
Yeah.
Right.
Like if Messador is there, if R. Mason Thomas, one of those guys, you can get on a rookie deal.
Yeah. Then that's different, right? But if it's return on investment, right? ROI.
Yeah.
You know, if you get him, you think he has another 3 good years at the top. This is a guy that immediately upgrades your front. He immediately does that. And the thing that I wanted the Raiders to do is to take a lot of their draft capital and more than half of their free agency money and go out and make big deals, right? To fill that dead. You know, like a quarterback's best friend is a great offensive line, a great run game, and a great defense to get them the damn ball back and get them good down and distances and things like that. Yeah. The Raiders have not really focused on bringing in real talent in a long time on the defensive side of the ball. Like when Reggie Mack was here, he never built around Khalil Mack. He would try to kick the tires on the Bruce Urbans or guys that were kind of like done, right? You know, Reggie Nelsons of the world. This would be one of those moves where you're getting a guy that's still playing in the prime of his career.
Yeah. Another thing to keep an eye on, though, too, is Matthew Stafford's probably on the last year of his career. So that will free up some cash. Maybe they bring in a Ty Simpson or one of these guys, to back him up this year and be the guy down the line. Maybe they find a way. But this deal that ESPN put out there, Dan Graziano said he predicted this, a 4-year, $145 million deal with $72 million guaranteed. So that's a lot of money for
that's a lot of money, bro. That ain't gonna happen, my brother.
Yeah, and again, they gotta extend Nakua. There's a lot of moves that they need to make out there with the Rams in order. They got
Beyonce Adams out there. It's shit crazy, bro.
Yeah, facts. Another name to keep an eye on, you guys. Once again, Byron Young. I know that he was in talks, well, not in talks, but there was a potential trade out there, 2 first-round picks in Byron Young for Max Crosby, and I think a 3rd or a 5th from the Raiders. So another name to keep an eye on. We're looking at those 2027 free agents. Some of these guys that their teams may not be able to keep around, and that's another name right here. That we would love, right? This is a player that would be such a factor on this defensive line for years to come is Jordan Davis. A guy that, once again, Philly's going to have to, Howie Roseman is a wizard, with the cap. But again, are they going to be able to afford to keep him there? Jalen Carter, they're going to lose a pass rusher this offseason that they just traded a 3rd-round pick to Miami for. There's going to be Quinyon Mitchell is going to need another deal here soon. Cooper DeJean is going to need, or Cooper DeJean, however you say it, is going to need another, a deal here soon. This is a guy that I would not feel any type of way if SpyTech moved on from some early draft capital to bring in and give him a heavy extension. What was one of the big players out there in Tampa Bay that's been there? It's been a fixture on that defensive line. It's been there for a long time. Wasted.
My God, what's the kid name, man? I'm sorry. I was actually zoning out right now. So you talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Oh my guy. God damn it. What's his name? The Samoan kid.
Yes, come on, you got it. The Oos.
Oh my God, what the hell is his name, man?
Vita Vea, baby.
Vita Vea. Yeah,
right?
I'm sorry. I was about to call that man Haloti Nada and embarrass him.
Yo,
I'm getting old, bro.
Again, though, right? A name that you could potentially bring in and be a really, really big.
But Jordan Davis is no Vita Vea, man.
I'm not saying that he is. I'm saying that this year he should have been a Pro Bowler. The production was there. He took his workout regimen very serious this last offseason, thinned up a lot, got in really, really good shape. I know his teammates were pissed off that he wasn't named a Pro Bowler this past season. This is a name, man, that again, Philly's not going to be able to pay for all these guys, bro. He's not. And again, if Max, decides to leave and Philly's an option, I would take a 1st in Jordan Davis and give me a mid-round pick. I would do that. I think that he could be a major fixture on that defensive line.
No, bro. That man is a people mover, bro. I loved him coming out of Georgia, right?
Yeah.
The thing is these are the kind of free agent moves that or trades, if you're gonna make a trade, that you make. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times I've seen the Raiders go out there and they make trades for players, and then they compare them to players like Jordan Davis. And they're like, "Whoa, he's the next Jordan Davis." Yeah. And it's like, then he winds up being the next Davis Jordan. If we're gonna make big swings like this, right? You want to be bringing in some name brand, first brand talent. That's what you want, bro. Like to me, I'd be ecstatic if that happened.
Yeah, I think that would be a major pull. Again, I don't know if Philly can work some magic and bring, him and Jalen Carter back. I think that they would prioritize Jalen Carter. He's the best defensive tackle to me, if not 1A, 1B in football. You can't pay all these guys. You know how this thing goes in the NFL. I'm looking at some NFL 2027 free agents right now, all positions. Name a position real quick, Wasted. Real quick.
Corner. But hey, Graphk, hold on. I gotta stop you there.
Okay.
Jalen Carter's not even the best defensive tackle in his division. Stop your lies.
I mean, you Dexter
in a world
Williams, right?
Listen, in a world where Chris Jones exists, you were starting with this filth.
He's up there in age, bro. I'm not even putting him in the same category.
F up out of here with your crap.
Jalen Carter all day, every day.
Look, and I love Jalen Carter.
Tackle in football. I don't care what nobody says.
No, not yet. Not yet. Stop trying to Bluetooth him to there. Not yet.
No.
Not yet.
Best defensive tackle in football.
Not yet. Get the F up out of here.
So did Raider Dev. Does anyone know when we find out if our Raiders are playing in Mexico City? Because F that. Wherever we are, it's Battle of the Bay home game. You know what's funny, Raider Dev? So the Niners are playing the Rams, I believe, in Australia, in Melbourne. And it looks like they will not name the other team that's playing in Mexico City. And it's kind of crazy because I know they want to keep that game away from the Bay because this game is technically in Mexico City, a home game for the Niners. It would technically be a home game for the Raiders in Mexico City. But I think that they want to get away from potential stabbings and fightings.
I mean, my God, you got them people that run the country down there too that we shall not name.
Yeah, but
you don't name them either.
No, but again, in the Bay, I would hate if the NFL found a way to strip us Northern Californians of that game because everybody in Oakland, Sacramento, Vallejo, Richmond, I mean, the whole Northern California, Stockton, Modesto, Tracy, P World, Antioch, the list goes on, is waiting for the Raiders' return to the Bay Area. I think this would be malpractice of the NFL to take that game away from the Bay Area. Well, again, I understand the stuff.
Guys got to chill out though. Don't ruin a good thing bringing street politics to a football game. Listen, anybody can hear my voice. Listen, leave that shit outside the stadium. Come watch the game so that we can continue to have that battle of the Bay.
You speak for Newark, okay? You speak for New York. You speak for Philly. You speak for Northern California.
Hey, listen, man, I speak for where I want to speak for. You get the F up out of here. I speak from a man who does not want, and for real, this has nothing to do with no side of the aisle. Yo, bringing street shit to sports is stupid.
No, it is.
It's stupid, bro. And I hate that. And I hate the fact that, our fan base gets saddled with that. Because Raider fans, from what I've seen, right, since I've been doing this, are some of the best people
in the world,
bro.
But again, there's more good than bad, though. You can't strip away a game because 5% of your fan base is on some gangbanging shit. Like when the other 95 deserved to watch the team that they was stripped away from them. I don't agree with you, bro.
Yeah. And that's like, it's like, come on. And Raiders God, I'll slap the dog shit out of you if you ever call me soft in my face.
916 brother alone.
I will slap the shit out of you. Don't disrespect me, bro. Like, I'm just saying, when it comes to that, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's keep it football.
Yo, hold on. I'll slap the shit out of you.
Yeah, that ain't football. You calling me soft. That's some man shit. Ain't no football. That's get you fucked up stuff.
What I'm saying is this, man. I that would be nasty to take that game away from Northern California. But again, we have a huge fan base in Mexico City. The NFL is clearly trying to build more, outside of America, right? I get it. It makes sense. But that would be the one game that I would hate to be stripped away from us because I was looking forward to flying back home to the Bay and enjoying that trip. You know what I mean? So, but it is what it is. We'll see. Again, I'm like, I seen that they didn't name, the team yet. And I'm looking, it's a Niners home game. I mean, you can kind of put 2 and 2 together here, right?
Yeah. Not, bro. It's just, it just sucks, man. Cause bro, that preseason game, that was dope. Every year that shit was dope.
Yeah.
It was dope. It was a good time. It was something that you can kind of get back to bringing our fan base and keeping them in Northern California. And it just sucks, man, because like even when the Raiders go back to Los Angeles, we played in LA a long time. We got a big fan base down there, but it's not as special as being able to go back and return to the Bay because we got somebody in our division that we got to play every year in LA. Yeah. So it's not like it lost its luster, but it's the fact that we're guaranteed to have that. But the 49er game in the preseason and having it, when the regular season is dope, man.
Yeah. Wasted got that Bay Area blood in his veins too, you guys. His family's from the Bay. He just so happened to be born and raised in Newark, but he got that Bay blood. He got that Bay blood.
Oh, nah, man. Listen, I'm a Jersey boy, man.
Look, Johnny Wade, the Raider fans were getting the blame for that Mark Sanchez. Yeah, bro. Didn't make any sense until the actual news footage came out. Like, come on, bro. Like just because we're there in the city, we're the ones that it's like, come on, man. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? I'm looking at corner right now, right? You mentioned corner. And we're not gonna be over here for too long, but corner is definitely one that I'm very interested in. And again, there's going to be some interesting names that may potentially move on from I can't wait until these cuts happen. There's going to be a ton of guys that are big name guys that are still productive that are going to get cut because these teams can't keep them around. We know Witherspoon's going to get paid a shit ton of money. He'll be probably the highest paid corner in football from Seattle. But I'm looking, Keyshawn Nixon, hell no. My guy, Emmanuel Forbes, man, he's looked really good at times out there with the Rams. They have the 5th-year option potentially. They picked up the contract from the Commanders, so they have the option of bringing him back. And he looked pretty good out there. I think that they said he was like 3rd in the league in 2 separate categories out there with the Rams. I know Rams fans are a little up in the air with his performance. Yeah. And again, he still got to put a little bit more meat on his bone. That was always the knock with Emmanuel Forbes, right?
Yeah. E-Man needed to get stronger. That was it. But bro, if he was a bigger dude, probably be the damn best corner in football. Like it's for covered like that guy.
Pick 6 dog.
Yeah. No, that guy is different, bro. He just look, man. I told you, man. Little GH, little trip over to Europe. Nobody knows nothing. Do a little blood. No disrespect to Kobe, but Kobe went and got that little blood spinning.
Yeah.
So do
Joe Porter Jr. is going to be a free agent next year. Pittsburgh's not going to let him leave.
Yeah.
Another name to keep an eye on, which Kansas City won't trade with us, but Trent McDuffie will be a free agent next year. And there's already talks potentially of them moving him potentially for some draft capital, freeing up some money. Man, I would have loved to see one of the top nickel corners in football with the Raiders. He was one of our favorite prospects coming out of Washington.
Yeah, man. Bro, I just don't see these freaking teams letting these guys walk, bro.
Yeah.
Like I don't see it, bro. Like even like we're gonna be left with the L'Jarius Sneeds of the world. Like that's what we're gonna be left with, bro.
Well, this is the thing, right? You get your guys in the draft and you develop them. Like that. Yeah. It's just simple math here. Hopefully, Spytek and these guys and his coaching staff are the ones that can actually develop the talent, because we see this year in and year out, all these other teams around us are building up these rosters and they're having homegrown talent that become stars. We have struggled a lot by doing, like Hunter Renfrow. He had a couple big years for us. He's gone. Max, superstar. Now look at the situation we're dealing with him. Josh Jacobs, superstar, gone. We have to develop homegrown talent and keep these guys around. So it all starts here in the draft.
Yeah. No, it definitely does, man. And it's cool. It's cool to talk about. It's cool to think about. But at the end of the day, for us to be with the kind of team we want to be, we're gonna have to get it done in the draft. That's just boilerplate.
We're gonna have to. Thank you for bringing that up. Wasted, you bum. You really believe that Cleveland is gonna cut Denzel Ward?
No, I don't. Listen. I was just trying to drum up some conversation on Twitter, and then here you come. We're like sitting there like somebody waiting in the corner. Ooh, let me go and make a comment on Wasted's little. It's like, get the F up out of here, bro.
Hit the sound.
I forgot. I'm sorry. Look,
that thread was phenomenal. I just want to say that tweet that thread of just a bunch of gifts. It was absolutely hilarious.
Yes, it was. But nah, look, bro, I'm just listen. Can I get my grift on sometimes?
Hey man, get your grift on.
Like it's got just like Gargamel, he just rains on my parade and my grift. I know Denzel Ward ain't going nowhere. I mean, who the F? Like seriously, who the F would let a guy like that leave? Nobody's letting him leave. It's just cool to talk about.
If so, trade him. Like, don't just release him. But it is the Cleveland Browns we're talking about. So you never really know. Rich, I agree. We don't have the Cowboys on the menu this year. The next best thing would be the Raiders Niners in Mexico City. If you're from California, you know that the Niners have a major Mexican fan base. So I do believe that Mexico City would be a cash cow for the NFL with the Raiders and Niners. It makes a ton.
But do you think that the same problem, and this is why I don't think they're going to do it. If they're worried about growing a game, the worst thing they can do is bring a game down there and to have some things happen because of obvious reasons, right? Like in Mexico City and in Mexico, we all know that there's a grander problem than just here in America, right? Mm-hmm. You might have some of that same element, but on a higher scale at a game like that.
Okay, let me see. There's a tweet out here right now, and I don't know how real this is. Again, this could be, well, Amy Trask follows him. It seems like a pretty established page right here. According to, is it Michael Pascal from ESPN?
Okay, I've seen it.
The 49ers game in Mexico City next season will reportedly not be against the Raiders or the Broncos. The Niners will most likely be facing the Dolphins, Rams, or Cardinals. Now, the Rams are not going to be – that can't be because they're facing each other in Melbourne already. So maybe the Dolphins, maybe the Cardinals. Now, I don't know how much truth, how much this guy truly knows, but I hope that this is true. I hope that it's right.
Yeah, because I'm telling you right now, like if it's a Raider game in Mexico City and the way our fan bases are, that kind of stuff travels. And the league is not going to want a black eye on the league by, the fans carrying on and fighting and all of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So like, bro, that same element can just go right there. It's not like they got a kid on a plane to drive to Mexico City.
Yeah.
They don't right there.
They'll fly like hotcakes out there too.
Huh?
Those Mendoza jerseys will fly.
Yeah, they will. I mean, look, California, Mexico City, what's that, like a 7-hour drive?
I don't know.
Mexico City. All right. So Mexico City.
I thought that was an entirely different direction.
Yeah, it might be. I don't really know, right? But what I do know is that our fan bases having two fan bases that are very, very vehemently against each other. I think they want to showcase the NFL in its best possible light. Yeah. I don't think that they'll make a rivalry game away like that. If you notice, when they do these games, they are two teams that normally just don't even play each other, don't align. It's not a whole lot of smoke. And I think that's purposeful because the league, listen, the whole thing about capitalism is about having a vestige for capitalism to grow, right? Mm-hmm. The only other way that the league can grow, there are not many other major cities in the country that don't have a team.
Mexico City is 19. It's a 72-hour drive to Mexico City from Cali.
Okay, I'm asking. I don't know. I'm thinking just Mexico, right? So I guess they would have.
The flights are cheap there, though. The flights are hella cheap.
So I'd have to ask, right? I don't know. I'm not a West Coast guy, right? But what I'll say is that, these guys, want to make sure that it goes off and it showcases one team. It showcases the league. And I don't necessarily know whether they care if it's a competitive game, because if you notice when they play over in Great Britain, it's like the Jaguars and it's like a team that they never play. I don't think that they want fights and stuff. Yeah. They don't want people getting.
Also, the Jags are owned by the Khans. Right? And the AEW has a major fan base wrestling. Why they own a soccer team. You know what I mean? So there's a reason why they're out.
There's a lot of symmetry, right? And I think if a team were to move, because Jacksonville is, not the kind of team that's ever really going to be successful in Jacksonville, Florida. Like football in Florida doesn't really make a whole lot of sense because it's the Bible Belt and it's a college football land. they don't give a damn about the Jaguars. They really don't. Even when the Jaguars are winning, like it looks like it's a high school team when you see their media like that. That's why it's funny. They were getting on that lady that commended Liam Cohn, and I think that was real Bush League when people did that, talking about her professionalism. But they don't understand it's a real mom and pop situation there with their media. Yeah. They know all of the players. It's a very small group of people. It's not like when you walk into the Raiders. It's
like the Sacramento Kings.
Literally. Yeah, it's like the Kings. Like, right. So they're never, I don't think Jacksonville's ever really going to explode and be some major media hub for football. Like not professional football. That's a college football town. They're going to take the Jaguars and probably move them to England eventually. If they ever move a team, because it makes sense. Yeah. You don't really have to do too much realignment. You take the Jaguars and put them in the AFC East. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like back in the day when the Colts used to be in the AFC East, and that's not a long flight. So I can see it, man.
Salute to Jose, man. Raiders in Mexico with a Spanish-speaking quarterback. Money. Salute to my guy, Duarte in the building. Salute to Hug. Prediction: if Mendoza is drafted number 1 to us, which he will be, Mendoza will lead all jersey sales for first-year rookies in history. The thirst the nation has for a real quarterback will break records in merchandise. Watch. I mean, look how Shador's jerseys were flying off the handle last year. Yeah. You can only imagine. This guy's coming off of a national championship, undefeated. You know,
a hell of a lot more success than Shador. Yeah, hell of a lot more.
Definitely, Hug. You're definitely on to something there, brother. Salute to Black Hole. Raiders would be smart to collab with OLV on doing some fan content. You fellas always keep it 100. Appreciate you, my brother. Definitely. And keep an eye, man. We're going to be working on some things in Vegas very, very, very soon. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Because trust and believe, we're working on a ton behind the scenes. And I got some stuff baking in the Vegas area. So, Black Hole, appreciate you, brother. As always, get a few more questions in, you guys, at that hour 15 mark. We talked about a few potential names that the Raiders could maybe take a look at in the trade market. We talked about the new hirings, and it looks as though the Raiders are still trying to build onto that staff. Also, just answered a few supers and all that good stuff. Get a few more questions in here before we get out of here. I heard Caleb Williams is trying to recruit Max. I mean, bro, he was on this podcast. I mean, there were several people on the podcast that day. Rob Ryan was there. Robbo was in the building. He interviewed him. I think Jared Verse was there, I believe. I think he was there as well. There was multiple interviews that took place there. So, look, I mean, who the hell's not trying to recruit Max right now? You know what I mean? There's a ton of teams. It sounds like 20-plus teams that would be interested in Max. But it was a regular conversation.
Who doesn't want a great player, bro? Like he's a top guy at a very, very important position, right? But listen, the thing that I saw was the booger that he put on Max's couch.
See, I didn't see that.
The booger.
So he Gardner Minshew the interview up.
Bro, he went full Graphk Raider, bro. Full booger. Yeah, full Graphk Raider. Booger.
Wow.
And bro, look.
You gotta somebody send me that snippet, please. I gotta see him wipe. And mind you, it was an LA pod space. So he didn't wipe the booger necessarily on Max Crosby's furniture.
Man, it's on his show, bro. That booger lives in infamy.
Bro, hey, wasted. He was in a rush.
Bang, zoom.
Yeah. He said, Max, we pick you.
Salute. Applaud this man. Applaud this man.
All puns, baby.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, man, you know we have been long-time fathers. I mean, the dad jokes are flowing over here.
They're flowing. They are flowing. They are flowing. Let me see. Bears give us 2 first-round picks. No, we're not taking.
No, I don't want no wide receiver for Max Crosby. Get the F out of here with that crap.
Especially a guy that's 29 years old and that contract is ridiculous. Like, no. And he had 600 yards.
DJ, not much more. Get the F up out of here.
And I like DJ. But again, no.
I like DJ cut in free agency, picking him up on a scrap heap. I'm not trading for him. The F out of here with y'all crap.
He said Max has one tone and it's deaf as F. He should. Oh my God, Hug. Oh my God, Hug. Hey man, look, man. Let that rich man have fun. Let that rich man have fun. Let him have fun. Let him have fun. Let him have fun. Let him have fun, man. You know, You know, I hit him up and I talked to him about one of his records. You know, look, man,
man, and you disrespecting Guru from Gangstar. You
hey, man, hey, lemonade was a popular drink.
And it still is. I got more props and stunts than Bruce Willis. Come on, man. Don't disrespect DeWitt, man. Greg, NRCE. Yo, listen, don't disrespect.
Love Guru.
Yo, don't disrespect a legendary record.
Hey, it literally, I mean, Primo is one of my
Domino bass, so we man. You know it's funny, man. We were
if I'm lying, I'm dying.
Yeah, bro. Listen,
I ain't gonna lie, man. The comment section was nasty, Hug. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you.
Yo, all right. So look, what we gotta do is we gotta put this in the proper perspective. Turf Toe versus Max's record. What's up? Who's a better rapper? Darren Waller or Max Crosby? This is what we
I'm going need. Max, man.
This is what we gotta do.
The only thing I didn't understand was the Vay. I've never heard anybody call Vegas. So when he said, you know, bought a new crib in the Vay on my way to the Bay, I was like, the Vay, I never heard Vegas be called that. But again, look, man, it's no issue. Hey, man, let him do his W. Look, man, Waller, we put him in a whole nother category.
Waller the baller was dropping records.
One of the goats.
Yo, with a Z, records. He was like Cash Money Records for the 99 and the 2000.
Let me say this. I'll say this.
I got Darren Waller.
This may come off disrespectful. No athlete needs to rap, bro, at all. I think the only one I enjoy.
Damian Lillard, stop your lies, man.
Did you hear me say that? I said the only one I'm cool with is Damian Lillard. Oakland's own, town business.
Hey, man,
he can rap.
Shaq Diesel. Well, I'm the hooper, the hyper, better by Maya. When I leave the room, you know you better.
Every time I mention somebody from Northern California, you want to go back and bring a Newark artist out. I hate that.
Yeah. I cut you like a Shaq knife and cut you with precision. Forget Tony Danza, I'm the boss.
Hey, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. You can't stop the rain.
Yeah, bro. Yo, come on, stop it.
Classic.
Alarm to a lemon, my VA women. Yo,
hold on. Let's not act like.
Yeah.
C-Wade had a record with Corrupt that was cold too.
Yeah, but listen, bro, you got to stop, yo. And we don't need no hooks from Shaq too. You know you fucked with Kobe,
it. That shit was nasty work. Jules, aka Allen Iverson, disgusting.
Yeah, that's Kissing him wrote his rhymes for him though.
Yeah, it was nasty.
Yeah. I mean, look, man, Shaq Diesel though, man.
He said Le'Veon Bell was decent.
He was ass.
Yeah.
Nah, Shaq. Listen, man.
Hey, as patient as Le'Veon Bell was, he should have never rapped.
Yo, man. Oh, hold on. The puns. The puns. Yo, what about the AB joint?
Disgusting.
What about Jello? Whoa.
Hey, bro, that man signed a deal with Def Jam and you never heard about him again.
Oh.
Bro, never happened again.
What about Deion Sanders with his whack record?
Must be the money.
Yeah, but he did somebody else's record. Bro, and he was like doing the butterfly and shit. I like,
yeah, bro.
It was terrible. He had the curl too, bro.
At the end of the day, man, you know, none of these guys should rap. But again, I can't tell a rich man what to do with their life. Like they make so much money, they're probably just bored out of their skulls, bro. And they're like, let me just go find some studio time and let's just get right.
Hey man, don't do my man Shaq like that. He got a classic with B.I.
All right. Paul, I'm an old fart. I have no idea what they're talking about.
Doug, real rap. You can't say that Shaq don't got a couple of dope records.
Huh?
Shaq got like 2 or 3 dope records.
No, he do.
You don't disrespect.
Nah, bro. Shaq was all in the source. He had music videos on beat. Shaq was actually a rapper.
Yeah. You got to give Shaq his respect, bro. Don't do Shaq.
He was still cheeks, but I give Shaq his credit though.
Yeah, man, that's the Shaq. Wait, the Shaq attack has risen.
Yo, oh shit! I remember Greg Olsen, man.
Third leg Greg.
Third leg Greg, bro.
Yo, third leg Greg was cold, man.
Third leg Greg, bro.
Third leg Greg was cold, man.
Yo,
he was a pioneer, yo. First it was Eminem, then it was third leg Greg. no, actually, around the same time, yeah.
Third leg Greg. Salute the Hug. Let's just voice inflection, tone, and dropping the hook is not in these boys' will. Well, this is the thing, though, Hug. They're not trying to rap no more. Like I don't judge music if you're not a lyrical. How do you judge that? You know what I mean? Like it's more melodic now. It's just that's what it is. I can't judge these guys. Like Damian Lillard actually has bars. I can enjoy. I look at these guys like he said, like KRS-One, like they're just cheeks, bro. You know what I mean?
So fucking say you heard Hondo coming out a mixtape called "I'm Not a Fan." I'm not a fan.
Yo, that shit is hilarious. Salute to John. Hey, Brian Shaw, J.R. Ryder, and J. Kidd and Company. Wait, did Brian Shaw rap? J.R. Ryder, Oakland's own.
Yo, J.R. Ryder rap, but that shit was trash.
Blake Snell clip. I didn't hear that.
Nah, bro.
Let's get the hell out of here. Salute to everybody here in the building. As always, we appreciate you guys so much.
That new album dropping. I am not a fan.
I am not a fan.
I am not a fan.
And the new single
it's featuring AI.
No. The new single is Glenn fired.
Socks.
Aaron Glenn fired.
Yo, I am not a fan featuring AI.
Yo, tomorrow, you guys, 10 a.m., 1 p.m. 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time. We will be live tomorrow. ESPN's own Ryan McFadden will be on the show. Wasted will be traveling, you guys. So we're trying to make sure, wherever he is remote, that it's going to work out. So expect Wasted here. But if anything happens where he can't do it, I'll be holding it down for us tomorrow. But Graphk and Wasted and Graphk show tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific time. Ryan McFadden, Raiders, ESPN Insider will be live on the show. You guys do not want to miss it. One of our new beat writers. Good dude, too, man. I really rock with Ryan's.
Solid cat.
He's a good dude. So, but other than that, anything on the way out, brother?
Nah, bro. Did you just hear my shoulder crack?
It's time. It's time.
It's time to go.
Yeah, it's time to go. Love y'all. We out.